When you list your home, you definitely want to list it at whatever price Zestimate tells you your home is worth. I'm just kidding, of course. This is Ellen Mitchell, your heels on the ground in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. And do not use Zestimate to list your home for sale. Definitely not for pricing. I've had a lot of clients ask me, Zillow says that my home is worth this. Did you know that the CEO of Zillow in 2016, his home sold for 40% less than the Zestimate? So if the CEO of Zillow's home sold for 40% less, you can tell that it is not a good pricing tool. So Zillow is an algorithm. They're never going to step foot in your home. So Zillow doesn't know, do you have upgraded kitchen, upgraded bathrooms, a new roof? Is your home on the lake or is it across the street from the lake? What is the view from your condominium? It doesn't know any of those things, and so the algorithm could be comparing your home that's completely updated to a home down the street that's in original condition. That's why you really need to work with a full-time licensed real estate professional to work with you on the pricing of your home. The pricing of the home takes several things into consideration. Everything really is supply and demand. Back during COVID, what we call the unicorn years, property was just flying off of the market. People were paying over list, cash, and beating out finance buyers. Now, pricing is an art. Really need to look and see what's currently on the market or what your competition is. What is closed in the last 6 months? Because if your buyer has financing, they're going to be getting an appraisal. The appraisal will look back 6 months for the most comparable homes to yours to come up with a price. What is the average price per square foot? You want to look at the closed sales to get the average price per square foot, and that should give you an idea. Of course, you have to adapt for condition, location. Does your home have a pool? Did the home you were looking at have a pool? All of these factors will significantly impact the final sales price of your home. Also, the familiarity with your area. Is the realtor that you're talking to, do they live in the area or have they sold a lot of homes in the area in which your property is located? For example, I'm licensed to sell real estate throughout the whole state of Florida, but for me to sell a home in Orlando would be doing my clients a very big disservice because I live in South Florida. I have relationships with other realtors across the state and across the country, and I could refer them to an excellent realtor in Orlando that would do an amazing job on pricing. So, is your realtor a local expert? Do they have experience? What is their average list price to sales price? What are the average days on market? What is the condition of your property? And are there some things that you can do to your property to improve the condition, which will give you a higher price? All of these things and a whole lot more need to be taken into consideration when you're selling your home. Even with all of the work that goes into pricing up front, it does happen that the property will not appraise sometimes. So for example, the property is sold for $200,000. The appraisal, which is ordered by the buyer's lender, comes in at $150,000. There are several options now available to both parties. The seller could reduce the purchase price from $200,000 to $150,000 and move forward. The buyer could increase their cash out of pocket by $50,000 because the bank will not finance that $50,000 gap. Or the seller could reduce to $175,000. The buyer could increase to $175,000, paying $25,000 out of pocket. If they cannot come to terms that work for both the buyer and the seller, they can cancel the contract and the deal would be canceled. Someone asked me, which is a good question, will the next buyer know what the last buyer's appraisal is? The answer is usually not. If it's an FHA buyer, the FHA appraisal will stay with that property. So if the next buyer is an FHA buyer, that appraisal will stay with the property, I believe, up to 6 months. But if it's a conventional buyer, then no. The next buyer and the next appraiser will have no idea what the previous appraisal came out at. So I know it's confusing. There are a lot of moving parts. We'll do some more videos on this at a later date. In terms of pricing probate properties, people often ask, do probate properties sell for less than traditional properties? It really depends, but oftentimes, yes. Because probate properties may have deferred maintenance, they may be in original condition, they may not have the updates that an owner-occupied property has. For that reason, they could be selling for less because the out-of-state heir doesn't want to spend the time, money, energy, and resources into fixing up the property. How this translates to buyers is if a buyer's looking for a property and they have the time and the money and the expertise to go in and fix something up, they may find a property that has great value, wonderful bones, and they can make that house their home. They can choose the kitchen cabinets, countertops, flooring, paint color, bathrooms. So do they sell for less? Often they do because of the condition. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for topics, any questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them in the remarks below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.